How y'all doing? I'm back. I'm back at it. So, chosen ones and working a regular 9 to 5. My goodness. So my brothers and sisters out there punching that clock, may the force be with you. Let me tell you, man, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. A chosen one on 9 to 5. Let me tell you this. Demonic beings, demons, witches, warlocks, and the like. 3 places I know that they love to congregate at. Clubs, believe it or not, churches. There's a lot of witches and warlocks in the church. Some even running churches, leadership in the church. And on these jobs, bro. So let me just tell you, just share with you some experiences I've had on the job as a chosen one. Now, the last experience that I'm going to share with you, that's since I've had my awakening. But most of my life, I've only been awakened this year. So just think all the jobs I've had. One in particular, I was on for 24 years. The whole time I was not awakened. But let's just tell you the different craziness, that I've experienced on the job. So for the ones who don't know, I served in the armed forces for 24 years. This last 6 years of my life, that's like basically the only time as an adult that I wasn't in the military. The rest of my adult life, all was in the military. But yeah, the other 24 years was all in the military. And wow, I mean, just being in the military alone, that's just one thing in itself. But I've ran into a lot of roadblocks, in the military. And, another veteran would probably say the same, but with me, it was crazy. I remember being stationed at Fort Benning in the mid to late 90s. And having come from Germany, I was at Fort Benning, and I had just came off of a 6-month profile. And y'all know how it is, y'all service members, do PT on your own. Man, I followed that formation. I went on to my barracks, my room. I wasn't doing no PT. So 6 months, I basically wasn't doing anything but going to my room. I wasn't going to the gym, wasn't doing anything. So when I got to Fort Benning, it was like I was a new recruit in basic training. Like 6 months of no exercising. And what had happened was soon literally my first or second week in the unit, I had found out I made the E5 list. I had already went to the board prior to PCSing. You had to, back then you had to wait, I think it was 3 months, 90 days. And my 90-day period, boom, made the list. So you have to take, of course, when you get to the, let me back up. It used to be called PLDC. That's when you're about to make E5. I know it's a new name now. I don't know the name of it, but it's not PLDC no more. That's when you're E4 going to make E5. So this particular unit I was in, this infantry unit, you had to take a PT test prior to even attending the school to make sure you're fit to go. Even if you have one on record, what it was, it had to been less than 30 days and on record. Now, in the military and the Army back then, every 6 months you took a PT test. But in order to go to school, the military wanted to check where you stood at as far as physical fitness. And this particular unit, although 60% or better in each event was considered passing, they wanted you to have 70% or better in each event. Well, me having had done PT in 6 months, bro, I couldn't run for crap. I couldn't pass the run, and I barely passed the push-ups. So they worked with me, you know what I'm saying? I was on a remedial PT and all of this, and they worked with me, and I got up to the point where I was passing, but I wasn't making the whole 70% thing. So they wouldn't let me go to school. So this went on for quite some time. really, it went on about 2 years, actually, that I couldn't get over 70% on the run, you know? So what happened was I messed up in February of 99. Me and another specialist, last name was Johnson too, we call ourselves gonna cheat on the run, the track. And I forgot actually what we actually did, but we it's like a part of this track at Fort Benning, dirt track. It was an extra little loop, and we like crossed the grass and not took the other loop around, which was like, I guess that taken off like maybe close to 2 minutes off of our time by not taking this extra loop. And I'm assuming this was known that people did this. So there was a guy that had posted up just like waiting for us to do it, which we did. And me and the specialist, we got in trouble. I don't really know what happened with him, but they was trying to put me out of the military, right? I didn't know it at the time. All I got was a counseling. So in the meantime, I got with shout out to Felix Balo. That's my homeboy. We've known each other since we was in our early 20s, and in the military at Fort Benning. He's a little younger than me, a couple years, but I'm 51 now. So I think I was 23 when we met. And he was an E3. I was an E4. He was an E3. But he was a track star in high school. So he one day we had staff duty. I was it was actually CQ with one staff duty. CQ was at the barracks. So I was CQ. It's like RA in college. And he was my runner. I was promotable still. They hadn't taken me off the promotion list. And he made a deal with me. He said, well, Johnson, I like to work out and stuff after work, but me and my wife share a car. And she had to pick up the kids. If I run with you and work out with you, could you possibly take me home? And, and I'll repay you, but my wife cooked dinner, you can eat with us. So it was like a win-win. He was my personal assistant. I took him home after work because he lived off base. I stayed on base, and his wife cooked dinner. And it worked out for the both of us. And he got to work out too because he liked to work out, but his wife had the car. So basically, this was February of 99. April of 99, 2 months of working out with this joker. I'm talking about I shaved off like 5, almost 6 minutes from my run. They couldn't like believe it. I was running, before working out with him, I was running 18s. After working out with him, I was running like 13s, 13, 15, stuff like that. And so when I went to my unit, running, they couldn't believe it. Matter of fact, I remember I took a PT test and I ran a 13 something, maybe even a 1250 something. It was something real. They could not believe it. They were like, "Nah, we can't submit this test. They're gonna think we cheated. This is too much of an extreme from what I was doing prior to." They didn't know that I was training with this guy. They had me on Remuda PT. The freaking first sergeant was doing Remuda PT with me on the weekends, and I was running with Felix Monday through Thursday after work. I was doing PT with the unit in the mornings. So all this working out. So then the following day, my unit had me do another PT test because of that 13, whatever. And they made me run this was the track, the 800 is 4 times around 1 mile. So we ran 8 times around, which is 2 miles. They made me do a 9 times around. So at 9 times around, I came in like a 15:27, which it should have been a 13 something, but they made me do 9 times around, and they submitted that. So then my Sergeant Major, I was a part of DOT, which was a directorate in itself. So my Sergeant Major, the Colonel, they were all like, "Okay, good, he running, he doing good, whatever." Put him in for PLDC. I took the PT test with brigade. I exceeded the 70% on all the beds. I was maxing almost. So good, everything good. Okay. Meanwhile, I did not know that these jokers was trying to put me out. like my commander was. It was a guy that was visiting our warehouse. He had a fancy for the girls in our warehouse. And he said, yeah, Special Johnson, I seen your name as one of the persons being chaptered out. I want to say it was chapter 15 or something. And I was like, what? So then they were trying to do it without me knowing this. So I didn't have any time to react. But because he told me, I reacted and I started doing rebuttals and got letters from people and all that. Needless to say, they had to throw it out. But guess what? My company commander, he would not he removed the flag. They still had me flagged. I didn't know this. Excuse me. I'm thinking when they removed me from being a potential chapteree or whatever, and that would have all lifted, but they hadn't removed the flag. So, you know, I'm enrolled in PLDC and everything. On like my third day, this E5 from my unit, she came to PLDC at Fort Benning. She had the saddest look on her face. Said, Commander, he's making us, you know, pull you out the class, out the course. I'm like, what? Weird, and took the PT test and everything. Passed that, did all good. Like, what? His reason was because in order to go to an NCOS school, you have to have 6 months or more left on your retention. And he had me flagged. So I couldn't re-enlist. And I had maybe like 4 months left. So it was like on a Thursday. That particular Friday was a big post run, like a big run. You know, Fort Benning, they had them regimental runs and post runs. They'd be like millions of people running all in the street everywhere. So my sergeant major seen me like, Johnson, what the hell are you doing here? You supposed to be in school. And I told him what went down. He was so pissed. He said, be in my office at 09 this morning. I got to his office. I talked with him and the colonel. My leadership was there. Oh, it was a lot going on. So then they had me wait in like the waiting area where like the secretary and all those people, the 71 Lehmans and all them was at. So then they called up my commander. So then somebody else was in that meeting. I can't remember because they told me what went down in the meeting because I wasn't in there. But apparently the colonel was like, we got copies of Special Johnson's PT. You know, he got all this PT. He's doing good now. And this is August. So I've been doing good on PT since April. What's that? April, May, June, July. Like 4 or 5 months. So he's like, he got a good yacht because they had me taking PT tests like every month after that. And I do passing and doing real good. And then they was questioning my immediate supervisor because she was overweight and all that. Saying, what about you? You're not on the overweight program and you're obviously overweight. It's like they were singling me out. And so, and then what the captain had said. The captain's like, yeah, you pulled him out of school. You could have easily went up there to the school and did his re-enlistment. That would have took maybe 10 minutes doing one of the formations at the school. But you had to pull him out? That's crazy. That's extreme. And then he said to them, well, y'all do whatever y'all want to do. Y'all got to work with him. I don't. Now, this was said in there. I wasn't in there, but somebody like a E4 or whatever was in there. They came out and told me. Maybe somebody that worked for the colonel was around and heard it. So that was that situation. But, man, I remember chosen, being chosen, man. Being in Louisiana in the 321st Theater Support Command. I was an ACRC, active duty soldier working in a reserve unit. And this is during my gambling hiatus time. It's just craziness gambling going on. And all I wanted to do was leave. Because, casino 10 minutes from the unit, or from where I lived. And I just needed to leave, whatever. And I remember I had gotten in trouble for the gambling. And I was on orders to leave when this happened. And my, how can I say it? The OIC for our section, he was an 05, a major. And I already got in trouble now. And I'm on orders to leave. Let me go on and leave and get out of y'all head. He was like, he was not lifting no flag. He didn't want me to leave. He was going to try it. Because what he was doing, he was trying his best to get me chaptered out versus just get in trouble. And, I'm going through this gambling thing. I'm ready to leave. Man, I'm going to tell y'all heard the saying about, people say, I'm going to knock all this shit off the table. I knocked because I couldn't hit him. I would have got in more trouble. I knocked. I never told anyone this to this day. Anyone from the 321st watching this, y'all can be like, what? Yep, Major Robert Wagner. I cleared his desk. I knocked everything off that man's desk. And let me tell you now, he was a whole demon. He looked at me and just started laughing. He looked, because I guess, he got a reaction out of me. That's what he wanted. He looked at me and just started laughing hysterically when I did that. No, and I guess he ain't telling about it because I ain't hear nobody say nothing about it. And this is the first time I talked about it. I cleared his whole desk. So then, them getting me in trouble and trying to chapter me out and all that, August of that year, I did a rebuttal because they didn't even want me to do a rebuttal. I did a rebuttal and everything. They threw it all out. Got my rank back, all this, that. But they still did not. They wanted to get me so bad. So I told you I was on orders now. So now I'm trying to leave. The commander, none of them will lift the flag. You can't move when you flag. Why am I still flagged? There's no reason. I did a rebuttal. It's all been cleared, wiped clean. I shouldn't be flagged. I should be free to go. They wouldn't let me leave. And I remember the unit was deactivating. And so during that time, I had went on, as it got close to the actual date of deactivation, I was on leave. And actually, no, let me take it back. We knew the unit was deactivating, right? So I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 321st, and they sent us down, the active duty people, wasn't but a handful of us, sent us down TDY to the 377, which was our senior command. And I was there TDY until HRC can cut us orders to PCS, whatever, because due to the fact that it was deactivating, we couldn't stay under the new UIC as active people. The reservists, they just transferred over. But active duty, we're a whole different element. We couldn't, either give us new orders for the new UIC, the new unit, or send us elsewhere. And basically, they was just sending us elsewhere. But we were just waiting on HRC. And so they had us TDY down at 377. Man. So my TDY orders, it was approaching the fiscal year, 1 October. And my TDY orders was coming to an end, and they had to cut new ones. And I'm on leave, right? So a day or two before my leave supposed to end, I go to the commander, which was an acting commander at the time. And I'm like, well, sir, what we can do is just extend my leave, and then like about a week. And by the time I come back, the new orders would be there, and I can say, because what they're trying to do is send me back to the unit, the new unit, which a lot of them old jokers were still there, the ones that wanted me to get out, and the Article 15s and all that. And so they were trying to get me that way. So the commander that was acting, he extended my leave. So then I come back off leave. The new orders are there to stay there TDY until they cut us PCS orders. One of the E7s, Moloch, my son, she was pissed. She was like, she felt as though I did something wrong. I went behind her back, the scene, whatever. I followed all rules. And just so happened, it was a commander in there that wasn't in her pocket. An acting one, because the regular one was on leave, and he approved my, extended my orders. Extended my leave, which that happens. Okay. Now, it's time for my annual. Now, mind you, when I got in trouble earlier, I already got a real bad bad write-up, really, really bad. So now it's time for my annual. I've been on a clean street, everything, whatever. Man, she wrote that annual like I had did worse than the whole what happened prior. And nobody was signing. Even she's an E8. She was like my boss's boss. I was an E6. My boss is E7. She's E8. So she's his boss. And he wouldn't sign. He said, I ain't got nothing to do with it. We've already, you got this thing rid up like he done went and assassinated somebody or something. It was crazy. And so he wouldn't sign it. So when I had got in trouble back in May, now this is like August. No, this is like September. No, back up. This is like beginning of October. This is because we're in the fiscal year now. This is the beginning of October. Now, I got in trouble back in May. My current supervisor, E7, saw him first class Fox. By this time, he had done PCS. And he was ACRC. No, he was AGR. He was somewhere in Georgia, and I was in Louisiana. Anyway, I told you my NCO at the time, Clark, Sergeant First Class Clark, he said he wasn't signing it. So what her behind tried to do, she supposedly called up Sergeant Clark. Now, how you going to go and get an NCO from the back? He ain't been my leader in like 4 or 5 months to get him to sign, because this is back when you hand jam. It wasn't electronic signatures. And so that was supposed to happen. So now she got this new NCO with his signature on it, allegedly. And it's a terrible write-up. I mean, they meant because they was going to get me some kind of way. Because they couldn't get me with the field rate out of 15, I appealed it and won. They're going to get me this way. Now, mind you, Sergeant Frost had been my leader prior to Sergeant Clark for like a year and a half, 2 years. Probably 2 years. I was there 3 years. The first 2 years of me being there was Sergeant Fox. And then this last like year, whatever, was Clark. So I had plenty of write-ups, not bad write-ups, but, you know, counselings and different things with his signature on it. So I'm looking at this. I was like, this is not his signature. So I went to the OIC at S1. Now I'm at a 377, so the OIC there was a major. I said, ma'am, you know, I'm showing her, this is our Clark signature. Look at all these NCORs and counselings and different things. And look at this signature here. It's totally different. She asked me, do you have Sergeant Clark's phone number? I said, yes. So she calls him on speaker. I'm in her office sitting there. Yes, Sergeant Clark, I have Staff Sergeant Johnson here, and da-da-da. And I get these NCORs that had your signature on here that you allegedly signed and at the order of Master Sergeant Moloch and all that. What me and her heard, we both, our jaws hit the floor. He was like, yeah, I supposed to have came there, you know. Well, I did come because his family was still in the area. He said, yeah, she wanted me to sign the NCORs for Jay for Johnson. But I was tired of my family, and I actually forgot to go by there. So I didn't wind up signing them. I just came on back to Georgia to my unit. And she's like, so you didn't sign these NCORs? He said, no, ma'am, I didn't. Man, she hung up that phone. She like, excuse me, Sergeant John. She walked in there to the Sergeant Major office. Then she came back. Sergeant Johnson, Sergeant Major want to see you. I sat in with Sergeant Major. As I'm sitting there, he talking to me a little bit. Then Master Sergeant Moloch came in. He dismissed me. 2 weeks later, I was PCS gone, headed to Fort Lee. Man, I'm telling you, it's then let's see. Got to Fort Lee. Oh. Fort Lee, man. I never forget my first day. I mean, I went to ANOC and all that, but my first day at the unit at Fort Lee, I know that they had a meeting with all like the OICs, NCOICs, the colonel, all this, whatever. This is my first day. The meet started, they were, I guess people was in trouble, whatever. The meet started at 1800. Guess who they sent? This my first day on the job. They asking all kind of questions, all that. And I'm like, you know, Sergeant Major or whoever it was, Colonel, sir, whatever, this, that, third, they said, we need an answer. Well, how you gonna fix this? This is my first freaking day. Like, what? Welcome to the Law Warriors. So I was like, what? My goodness. They gave me like 2 of the hardest additional duties. Like, well, I don't want to say hardest, but 2 of the additional duties that can have my behind in jail in trouble. That made me the ammunition NCOIC. So I had to go to school for that. And they had made me the supply NCOIC. 2 of the jobs that you can go to jail for monies, for ammo, all this, whatever. And there was a lot of discrepancies with the ammo stuff and all that. And I was fighting. I'm going to IG. I'm doing all this, that. And they would not. I was like, at least take one of the jobs for me. It's other NCOs here. Give one of them to them. Why I got to have the biggest jobs there that can possibly send me to jail, whatever. This is 06. So 07, July. I was on leave for 2 weeks. And I was in the unit, right? The enemy had it out for me. But it's like one YouTuber I follow. He said what they don't know is the Most High. They be plotting. He be plotting too. I was like, don't say the Most High plotting. They say he was plotting. The Most High, when he said the Most High plotting, it's trying to say the Most High is 10 steps ahead of them. Like they're trying to set us up, sabotage us, and the Most High is setting up ways to get us out of that. So that's what happened. They was trying to sabotage me, and the Most High had my butt take leave. So we had what's called a field aha. Field aha is a temporary staging for when you have ammo, weapons, and power, whatever. Because you're taking the ammo and the pyro from the ASP. The ASP, the automation. The ASP is where they house all the ammunition and the pyrotechnics and all explosives, grenades, all the kind of stuff like that. So if you have a field exercise during the week or for that particular day, you take so much of the pyro, so much of your ammunition that you'll need for that day, and you put it in our case, in a Humvee, and you have someone on guard. You have a NCO E5, usually in a E4, though in our case it was a private, because during the field rotations. So I wasn't there, keep in mind. And this is an exercise place where the people go for like a week, 4 or 5 days and do exercises. Well, they start lightning and thundering. This is all from what I heard. I'm on leave. So the colonel for that rotation, he pulls, because you get the private and the E5 from, his group. He pulled them all off of the guard duty for the field AHA. And there's a military police there. And he was supposed to do, prior to pulling them off, he was supposed to contact the OCs, the staff. We was permanent party staff. And we would have took the vehicle and rolled it back into the ASP. Not just leave it out there in the woods with all this ammunition on it. He was like, F it. Let them handle it. But I'm pulling my soldiers off because it's lightning and thundering. So the military police did what they're supposed to do. They reported it. Man, that opened up a can of worms. All hell broke loose. It got to the point BAIG came down, investigating ammunition, because you're dealing with ammo. That's like, it was bad. Man, people got fired, relieved. It was a whole mess. So I come back, because when they investigated that, they found out that we were storing ammo in one of the makeshift secured place. It was a secured place, but when the rotation is over, you're supposed to turn the ammo in, brass and ammo. And what my unit had us doing, because they had forecast a certain amount of ammo for the following year, and we actually needed more. So we was basically not turning in ammo. We was saving it. We wasn't selling or stealing it. We were just saving it for the following week for the rotation. But we're not supposed to do that. And so they were investigating that, seeing that we were selling on the black market, and everyone's trying to blame shift. And the whole leadership trying to say they had no idea, which they the ones had us doing it. And the investigator, he had to investigate me. Now I'm off of leave, I'm dead. And like, sir, I'm gonna tell you, no one's selling no ammo, none of that's going on. We just keeping it because they under forecast what was needed for the next year. And so that's why we was keeping it for the following week. And for that's what was happening. So I got a write-up, but nothing else happened. Basically, the colonel was like, if you don't get into trouble while you're here, we'll throw this out. Or he said he'll throw it out. He PCS. So he wound up PCSing, and then I wound up coming out on orders. And them jokers did not want me to leave. They tried to say that some immersion heater that cost $5,000 was missing in the supply room. And because I was the supply, I had to stay there and give an account for it. They're going to write up statement of charges for $5,000. What? So convenient. I'm about to leave and this happened. Thank the Most High for Mr. Johnson, Randy Johnson. He stood up and said, now what business he have signing out something and not go through me? I'm the supply NCO. But he's telling me he's a civilian. He's telling me he signed it out to a certain union and all this. These folks about to roll my head and charge me for $5,000 for something I ain't even do. But this life of a chosen woman, they single you out, sabotage you on these jobs, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And other things happen on jobs too. But just just, I don't know what to say. Just pray. You got to constantly just praying and staying, because it's terrible being a chosen person. And I could only imagine being a chosen person and being awake on the job, because it's different when you're asleep, but when you're awake, it's like they really don't like you if you're an awake and chosen on the job. So yeah, life of a chosen one on these 9 to 5s. If you pulling it, you doing it. I mean, I pray for you. My heart goes out to y'all, because I'm fortunate to be in my situation, retired and all that from the military. But man, yeah. But stay tuned. I'll be doing more videos like this. You know, of course, I'll do videos. You know, with the word and giving the word. Of course, that's what I do. But also videos too, like this, just talking and, you know, sharing with like my experiences and different things, and, you know, just to encourage someone and let someone know that they're not alone, or, you know, it's me too. I've been through this, what have you. All right, y'all, take care. Like, comment, and share. Stay tuned for the next video. All right, everybody, be good.